Hello friends, my name is Bhavya Mangla. I am working with DNVGL. Today I am going to talk about supplier quality management system development. When we think about supplier, say for example we are going to buy some grocery or some clothes, we always prefer to go a reputed and a branded store. When we are going to search for a job, we always prefer those portals who have reliable information. In fact, for matchmaking also for the marriage, we always try to find someone where we know that the previous track record is good. Something similar is expected from the suppliers when an organization is looking for a new supplier or thinking about continuing their business from the same supplier. And ISO 9001 as well as IATF 16949 certification is one of the criteria for organization to decide about it. Now, before going further, it's important to understand that why should an organization expect their supplier to go for these certifications? Maybe they wanted that their supplier should have good QCD, quality, cost and delivery process. They wanted them to reduce their cost of quality. Maybe they want to have a better alignment with the supplier. Another reason could be that they wanted to have a long-term relationship with the supplier. That's why they want them to be certified. And there can be many more reasons. When we look at IATF subscribing OEMs, especially Daimler, Peugeot and Ford and as well as FCA, they have specific guidelines with respect to supplier quality management system requirement, just like CQI 19, that is one of the requirements from Ford. Now moving further, as per the standard IATF 16949, they have defined certain guidelines for an organization to go ahead with that. So if I divide them broadly into three parts, the first one is with respect to customer waiver. The second one is with respect to the customer risk analysis, and the third one is about the progression of certification. So let me talk about the point number one, about the risk analysis. Now, it depends upon the organization that based on their risk analysis, they decide that out of number of suppliers, because in general, any tier 1 has got 50 to 100 suppliers, which suppliers to be given priority. And the priority can depend upon the share of business, maybe some new business that they're going to provide, the kind of customer complaints they are getting, or maybe the criticality of the supplier or the product that they're getting. So based on the risk-based analysis, they can decide that which supplier to be decided first. And there can be a possibility that organization can decide some suppliers that they should not need to go for any certification, like the scrap dealers who are giving material for steel mills, or maybe the logistics people who are transporting the material from one location to another, or maybe any similar kind of thing. Here comes point number two. The point number two is about customer waiver. Now, there can be a possibility that supplier may be small, or maybe supplier is too big for an organization to push them to go for certification, or maybe the supplier is not that much important for that. So in all those cases, there is a provision that customer can give waiver to the supplier that they need not to go for certification at the moment, and based on the second party audit, they will continue with the compliance requirement. So here comes the point number three. Now, the point number three is about the progression process from different stages of certification. And that is also divided into 4 points. The first one is about ISO 9000 certification. So this is a minimum requirement that an organization is expecting from their supplier, and it's a mandatory requirement from IATF 16949 also. There is another requirement which has come up this time is that all the suppliers who are going for certification, they must ensure that their certification body as well as the accreditation body should be approved by IAF MLA. And why this requirement has come is because there are many suppliers who may be in the process of negligence or maybe low cost, they are going for such kind of certification body who are actually not approved, or maybe the accreditation body has lost their accreditation but still they are getting the certification through certification body. So it's important to take care about that part. The second important point is with respect to those suppliers who have got ISO 9000 certified, but there is some specific requirement from their customers to have some additional requirement. Like Maruti Suzuki has got their own supplier manual for tier 2. And many times tier 1 like Denso or Delphi have additional requirement from their suppliers. So all those requirements, when are implemented by the organizations, they become point number 2, ISO 9000 plus additional customer specific requirement. Here comes point number 3. There are many companies, especially the OEMs as well as Tier 1, who are IATF 16949 certified, and expect their suppliers to understand the language and the interpretation and implementation of all those, even though they are not certified there. So they want their suppliers to implement all the requirements, and then they do second party audit to see that whether organization or that particular supplier is meeting those requirements or not. And the fourth requirement is with respect to IATF certification. So that is the easiest, and any organization can go directly for IATF certification. The only important thing is that certification should be done by IATF approved certification body. And when an organization takes care about certification process, maybe ISO 9001 or to IATF 16949, I'm sure that they are going to make sure that the relationship between supplier and organization will be better. The quality problems will certainly reduce, and there will be a long-term relationship between both customer and suppliers. So if I repeat again all the things, so I talked about three key things. One is about risk analysis, based on which the customer decides which suppliers to go for certification. Point number two is about the waiver part, in which cases customer can give waiver to not to go for certification. And the third one is about the progression process for certification. The first one was about ISO 9000, second one is ISO 9000 with additional requirement of the customer, third one is ISO 9000 and additional requirement of IATF, which are covered through second party audit, and the last one is about certification to IATF 16949. So in case you want to know in detail about this, so you can click the below link and you'll get more information about it. And in case you want to know and continuously know about these videos, so you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.